So good morning, everybody. And the chat is open for you to put in names of people that you would like to be sending some healing energy to. People you're holding in your hearts. And I will share my screen so that we can all have the Mishaberach in front of us. Oh, Zoom is giving me all kinds of interesting things for the first time. Okay, here we go. So please feel free to drop names in the chat of people you're holding in your heart, and use the words of this Mishaberach or any other words that you want to say to yourself or out loud if you're on mute. And we'll take a moment. Okay. So good morning, everybody. And let us spend a moment coming together, being here, inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. So we are in the 7th week of counting the Omer. It is the week of Malchut. And Malchut has been variously described as sovereignty, nobility, and Shekinah. Malchut is really different from the 6 previous weeks, the 6 previous Sifirot that we've talked about. It's kind of a state of being rather than an activity. It's an expression of human dignity. So Malchut requires the integration of all of the other traits. So we've discussed loving kindness and discipline and balanced self and energetic response and humility, and how all of those are channeled through bonding, which we talked about last week, and the result is Malchut. So Malchut can be viewed as this sacred container. It's receiving everything and integrating it. Excuse me. So we've been talking about the tree of life. So we have this tree image, right? And over the last 7 weeks, we've been moving from the uppermost branches of the tree all the way down toward the base of the tree. And the base of the tree receives the fruits from the past 6 weeks of spiritual growth. The base of the tree is where the roots and the trunk connect. So the tree's roots need to be strong and deep so that the tree stays alive and upright. And our roots need to be strong and deep in order to sustain us. So when we think of this container at the base of the tree, another metaphor that is often used is womb, because the womb is also an integration. So Malchut is this receptacle for getting everything from the tree of life and then creating something new from it. And the womb is also creating a fetus, something new. So Rabbi Mim Kantrowitz, I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly, wrote a book that I referred to frequently during this period of time. It's called Counting the Omer, very catchy title. And I'm quoting from her book now. Malchut is associated with the 7th day, the day of rest, Shabbat. Shabbat is a day designed for spiritual contemplation rather than for working, doing, achieving, or altering the natural state of the world. This week is like the Shabbat of the Omer journey, where we reflect on the weeks that have passed and enjoy spiritual connection. This last week of the Omer is an opportunity to revisit each of the Sephirot, the final preparation for receiving revelation at Shavuot. So, as I mentioned, one of the ways of interpreting Malchut is Shekhinah, which in my understanding contains the feminine aspects of the divine, and it also represents God's closeness or immanence. So there's this reminding us that divine energy permeates everything. So God is in partnership with humanity. There's this connected, receptive, and interactive piece of divinity, and that we're in relationship with. So this week, we can envision the world the way it could be, permeated by divine energy, a world at peace, a world in harmony. We can allow ourselves to imagine this perfect world. And we can become inspired by that vision to strive to do our best to get there. So this, to me, this is how, one of the ways that I relate to this reciprocal energy flow between humanity and divinity. So there's this focus on receiving and appreciating what we've received in the past 6 weeks of spiritual effort. And there's also this need to remember that the more we receive, the more we have to give. And the more we give, the more space we have to receive. And this is this beautiful dance and this beautiful cycle. And for me, that really is an illustration of how everything is interconnected. So with that, let's move into our our sit. And I'm going to be doing a bit of guidance at the beginning, and then we'll move into silence. So I invite you to take a regal position. It's part of Malchut is sovereignty, it's being regal, right? So sitting in a regal position. And we also want to really be open-hearted. So I'm going to invite you to shrug your shoulders up and back and down slowly and rotate your arms out. And then allow your elbows to bend and place your hands palm up in your lap. This is a very accepting position. So as we're sitting, and take a few nice, deep cleansing breaths, inhaling fully and exhaling completely and slowly. And feeling supported. And maybe imagining our inhale being the divine's exhale or the tree's exhale. And our exhale being the inhale of all of nature, including divinity. And that reciprocal nature, that cycle. So as we think of Malchut being the sacred container, I'd like to just spend a moment describing what we've been placing in this container the past few weeks. So first we put in chesed, loving kindness or loving connection, care for ourselves and for one another. And then gevura, justice, discipline, power, strength. And then tiferet, that balance and beauty and harmony, particularly that integration of chesed and gevura, because we absolutely need both. And then netzach, endurance and fortitude, energetic response. And hod, humility, and keeping our egos in check, and recognizing that our gifts and talents are God-given. And that can lead us to gratitude for what we have. And then last week, we put in bonding and foundation, our firm footing as we move along in life. And now we sit with this very full container. So I invite you to begin to deepen your breath. Slowly begin to bring your attention outward. And I have this offering from Rabbi Yael Levy for the last week of counting the Omer. During this final week of the Omer, may Shekhinah, the divine presence, hold us all in a full and gentle embrace. May we be present with the tenderness of life and treat ourselves and each other with care. May our vulnerabilities be met with kindness and our wounds with great love. We are here together with all beings, with all life. May we know ourselves as sacred vessels through which the divine flows and reveals itself in the world. So I invite you to unmute as you would like, and